Hello YouTubers, Charles here, playing some more Kerbal Space Program, back with my 1.0 career mode game, and we have a little under 3.4 million funds, 745.9 science, and we are at 67% reputation. Last time we sent a probe off to Duna, but that's going to take quite a while to get there. So in the meantime, let's look at what else we can do. Hey, Gene. We do already have a few contracts, including building outposts on the moon and Minmus. Exploring Duna, that's what we're hoping to achieve. And, well, we can rescue Chazky, but he's very close to the sun, and we have quite a while to get to do that. So let's look at some other things we can do. Seismic surveys on Minmus. Tourists. Rescue from the moon. Explore Ike. Some more tourists. Which liquid fuel engine on escape trajectory out of the moon. Not sure which engine that is, but I actually think I want to try to put an outpost on the surface of Minmus. So, I'm going to go build a rocket to do that, and I'll be back in just a bit. You know, we have 17 years to do this. No time like the present. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, here we are. I've just crewed up the Minmus station rocket. We're going to send Valentina, Bill, Bob, and Utrix, because this is a pretty big rocket here. Let's, I did pick up that seismic survey of Minmus. Since we're going to Minmus, we need a new outpost that has an antenna. I might have actually forgotten an antenna here. A docking port, well, there are actually going to be several here, and can generate power. 11? Really? I did not notice that. Well, there's an easy fix for that. Well, we're taking 2 scientists along in the science lab, and I had a cupola module and a hitchhiker storage container, and a few of each scientific, well, at least one of each scientific instrument. We have a materials bay here, there's a goo canister, and one on the back just for balance. We got actually 2 thermometers just because, a seismic accelerometer, and a pressure sensor right over here. Let's zoom in a little. But I do think I actually forgot an antenna, so I'll have to attach one on. We got 4 solar panels around the top here. We got 2 lights. We got 2 more solar panels, but this whole section here is supposed to land downwards. Basically, the plan is we have the same launcher we used for the Duna probe. This is much heavier weight, so I don't think this will have enough fuel to get us out of Minmus's Kerbin's sphere of influence. Hopefully, it will get us out to Minmus. Then we have a fuel tank here with a... I can't think of the name of it. It's standard Poodle liquid engine. Doesn't say the name if you hover over it. And that should get us into Minmus's orbit and hopefully decelerate us to start heading down. At that point, we will undock this part and maneuver it so it lands on top. So it'll be like a lookout tower on top of the station. As it lands, we'll then have 4 engines to land with 2 fuel tanks. So we may be able to maneuver this afterwards, or use this fuel to refuel other ships. But we got 8 landing legs that will come down, and the idea here is to hopefully land on a flat so it's much easier to land on. But it looks like I'm going to need handle more crew. I did not expect the 11 requirement. However, we had, as you saw, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One more hitchhiker canister will do us. And I think they're under utility. Here we go. And we'll just put it right here. And may mess up our balance a little because I had actually these thrusters around the center of mass, but it actually doesn't matter too much. This has, or should have, plenty of maneuverability. Additionally, it has a extra SAS control. What are we calling that? Inline stabilizer. This does get wobbly. So let's get some antennas. They are under utility. No, they are under science. So they're used for broadcasting science back. We'll stick one there, and just for whatever, we'll stick one down on that module. This section does have a probe core just so we can keep it stable as we're doing that docking maneuver. So let's save this. Just check. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 8, 9, 10, 11. Great. Landing on Minmus. New outpost. Yes, well, we're launching it now. We still don't have action groups, but I don't really think we need them. The only real use would be for maybe extending the solar panels, but there's not that many. So, let's save this and head out to the launch pad. Okay, here we go. We have Valentina. We'll send Jebediah up in a little while after the base is established to bring everyone back. 563 tons. This is a really heavy rocket, but that's why we're using our heavy launch system. Let's get all this out. Turn on stability control. Everything looks good. Throttle up to maximum. Let's lift off in 3, 2, 1. And away we go. Let's bank over a bit. We are really wobbly. With the big fins on the bottom. we are doing well. We just don't want to drop these onto the Space Center. There they go away. We are continuing to increase our velocity, although just as those ran out, they kind of almost came to a stop. But we are picking up speed again. Let's tip over a bit more. Starting to overheat, but that seems to be typical, because that's what happened when we launched our Duna probe. Please stop wobbling. Alright, I'm gonna stop maneuvering about there. Our boosters are about to run out, and we want to be as stable as possible when they do. Yes, and they're away nicely. At this point, we are, basically come to a stop again. We actually have less than 1 thrust-to-weight ratio. But we're almost in space, and as long as this keeps going up, we want to get that to about 100 kilometers. And if we can do that, we should have plenty of time to get up to speed. Once that does hit 70, I'm going to tilt over to about 30 degrees. There we go. Please tilt nicely. We're about half the speed we need. So we're going to still raise our apoapsis here. We're approaching it, but slowly. And we just need to get our speed up. We're officially in space now. Maybe, we still got a good amount of fuel, but we're going to be using a lot of it just to get into orbit here. Very wobbly ship. Doing pretty good, so I want to nose over nearly horizontal. We're about 3/4 of the way up to speed, and we really just need to get our speed going. Pointing basically in the direction you're headed, or horizontal to the horizon, will get you the most orbital speed per thrust. If you're aimed up a little, you're going to be raising your apoapsis. If you're aimed down a little, you're going to be lowering your apoapsis. But our apoapsis is approximately exactly where we want it. Let's see how much weight our ship has lost, and we're still losing as we burn this fuel. And we're actually almost up to orbital speed. Since we're not quite at our apoapsis, in fact, it's rising. It's going to be not exactly an even orbit, but depending on exactly where we cut our engines, we can get it pretty close to being even. 70, 80. Okay, 90 by... Well, that's not exactly even, but we are in orbit. Okay, yeah, we have much less fuel than we did with the Duna probe, but, you know, that's quite to be expected because we have a much heavier payload here. In fact, there is the Duna probe heading out away from Kerbin. So we're going to set Minmus as our target, and it looks like it's actually approaching our ascending node. So that means, if we are lucky, we can probably get there without too much of a... Let's probably want to be more like that. Lots of interaction with the moon we don't want. Go like that. Okay, that's pretty good. If we go down a bit, maybe well, we had a... It's almost there. Oh, there we go. Can we do it with less of a burn? There's a periapsis on that. That's pretty high, but, you know, we're going to take it slow. Alright, I'm going to turn on our RCS and use it to aim our rocket here. Well, it's not very maneuverable without it, I feel. And I need to burn with about 40 seconds to go. Music came up quite loud there for whatever reason. Alright, we're gonna on target shortly, and we have burn in about 30 seconds. Let's turn on SES and hope it can hold us. Alright, we are going to burn in approximately 10 seconds. Coming off the a little. Let's burn. Right there. In fact, I probably should have started this burn earlier because we're going to be running out of fuel shortly. And we'll need to stage. Pretty wobbly. We're out of fuel. Let us stage. And we're going to say goodbye to that stage. We're basically going to have to watch this view on the map to get our burn correct. We're still coming out here, so this is a much more efficient engine. Of course, it's also a lot less powerful, but we also probably cut our mass in half. So, well, maybe not exactly half. There was a lot of fuel weight, but we cut a good portion of our mass off. Little interaction had we stayed at that. Alright, I'm going to cut there and just tap it up ever so slightly. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5. All right, that we're gonna call that good. And not gonna be that terribly close to Minmus, but you know, it's not that bad. So we get a warp to here. Well, while we're here, before we warp, let's extend our solar panels. Now that our engine is no longer providing power, we're going to need these. And we are charged. Let's fast forward and time warp out of here. So we are headed out this way. Duna probe is just a few hours ahead of us. Maybe a day ahead of us. And we're going to get an eclipse here. We should have plenty of power. There's some batteries. Let's turn on the lights. They don't really help that much at the moment. They're not really aimed at the ship. They are designed to be aimed at the ground. And here we are back in the sunlight. Here goes the Duna probe. And here we come. Minmus is out here somewhere. It's always so hard to see, though. There's the moon, Kerbal, and there is Minmus. Getting closer. About another 2 days because we are getting quite slow. Okay, we have come into Minmus's sphere of influence, and we are a bit high and a bit far. But all that means is it takes very little thrust to get into orbit. I want to bring that down to let's say 50 kilometers. Yeah, if you click on the tag itself, if it's not over the map or not over another orbit, you can have that actually stay open. And I'm gonna say 50 kilometers. Nice round number. And falling from 50 should give us plenty of time to maneuver this into place. Let's say stage only. Well, that's not really stage only. This one really only has access to about 1,000 units of fuel left. Now it's showing state. Oh, that's electric charge. Haha! Yes. Anyway, we have about 1 hour and 27 minutes before our burn. Let us... Oh, we are actually pretty maneuverable now with just the SAS. I'm pretty sure this inline stabilizer is actually helping. Ooh. Call that a bit too much. Alright, that's pretty good. Let us time warp in here. Gonna have about a minute burn. Looks like we're flying past, but we're not quite at the closest point yet. Okay, minute burn means we want to start at 30 seconds. You guys been enjoying your 0G? Because it's going to come to an end in just about 15 seconds as we turn on the engines and you all get pushed back into your seat. Let's get around there and start our burn now. How stable are we? Well, looks like we're not. Alright, SAS is correcting. We're at least attempting to. We're a little off balance, but at least with launch, it wasn't making a difference, especially with all the engines we had. Right now, it seems to be making... No, actually, we're pretty good now. We're staying on point. If there was a problem, I should have seen it before, when we were finishing our burn out here. If there is a slight problem, our SAS is working well enough that it's not an obvious one. Let's see here. Let's just bring that in a little bit more. 60, 50, and cut. Okay, we are in orbit around Minmus. And I think I'm going to call the episode here. Next time, we'll circularize our orbit, picking landing spot, and attempt to land. There's those readings that we need to take, but we may be sending another rocket for there. Maybe when Jeb comes to pick up the crew here. But basically, we want to land. We want to set up our research, gather some scientific data, use the lab to multiply its value, and then transmit it home. So I think we'll be sending Jeb up here with another ship to collect readings from all over Minmus and bring them back to the lab, so that we can multiply quite a number of readings, their scientific value, and get a lot of science and send it back. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time with some more Kerbal Space Program.